So what's up, guys? My name is Berita Bateman, and tuning into the Berita Bateman podcast, and follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And I have a guest here who does drawings for her living and also for a side project. I don't want to intro too much because this is her department to introduce herself. So without further ado, Felicia Bateman, welcome to the Berita Bateman podcast.
Thank you. Hello.
Sorry, a slight delay. Right. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi. Thank you.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Was it jammed now?
It was jam going the other way down, so I
Right.
think that's what I'll be facing later.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Because the Samarhan is always, by the way, I stay at Samarhan if you're wondering where I'm staying. I always kickstart. Oh, it's raining. So it's going to be heavy rain later on. I always ask this question, like, how's the jam like? Because Samarhan is known for that.
Jamarahan.
Yes, you're right. Hi. All right, Felicia. How's life and what did you eat for lunch?
Okay, I didn't expect that question.
It's an icebreaker.
Life is good,
Right.
I think.
Right?
And I didn't have lunch actually, but I had a late breakfast. I had
Right.
laksa for breakfast.
Laksa.
Yeah.
Where's the best laksa in town? What you reckon?
I don't know if it's controversial. My favorite laksa is at 126 Laksa.
I was about to say 126.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Though I have a different opinion. The 126 is like, okay lah. But I'm not when people ask me what sort of food, which sort of stalls would you prefer to have, I would say I'll just go for anything, you know. Like
Right.
kolomi, I can go in any stalls. Laksa, I can go in any stalls.
Right.
What about kolomi? Are you a kolomi
No,
person?
I don't really like kolomi. Is that controversial too? I don't know. But for laksa, the reason I don't like telling people where's my favorite laksa is that because I don't eat spicy food. So I can't take laksa that's really spicy.
I see.
Yeah.
Gastric?
No, I just don't know how
Alright,
to eat
alright,
spicy
alright,
food.
I see. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Besides kolomi, what else? Laksa. I think that's all. Laksa, shawat, kolomi. That's it. All right. So to kickstart the podcast, I have how many cards here? Six cards with 6 categories, each representing each categories I've told you just now.
Yep.
And you can choose any of the 6 cards. And go ahead. Let's go.
Do I have to pick it up myself?
Yes.
Okay, so I think I chose dreams and self-awareness.
Okay.
So is that the purple one?
Purple dreams. Okay.
That's self-awareness.
Okay. Let's go.
So the question is, if someone wanted to annoy you easily, what would they have to do?
What would they have to do?
Be late.
Sorry for yesterday lah. I know I was late.
That's okay. Most of my friends are always late to meet me.
All right.
And it's not just like a 5-10 minutes late kind of thing. Sometimes it's like an hour,
Mm-hmm.
which is annoying. But
yeah.
because it happens so often now, I always bring something to do. Like I always bring work or it's like my iPad or something
No
to
wonder.
scroll on it. Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I'm always prepared for late people now.
You've prepared. Like
Yes.
I don't mind if you're late. I have things to do.
Yep.
All right.
But I don't tell people that because then they'll continue being late all the time.
It's in the podcast already, so continue being late so she can be productive. No, joking. All right.
Okay. So I have to take another card, right?
Yeah.
I think that was dreams. Oh. Okay. So the question is, how are you creating a life well lived?
Ooh.
I don't know. I don't actually know how I'm creating a life well lived, but I kind of look at it as if I'm happy, that means it's a life well lived. And I think for me, it's as simple as that.
Right.
Like, I don't have to make millions of dollars or ringgit or whatever. As long as I'm happy, as long as I'm surrounded by the right people,
Right.
as long as I'm supported by my family, I think for me that's enough.
You're doing it now.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yay. Hooray. I want to play too, so give me those 2 cards on a have my answer as well.
The same cards?
Yeah, the same cards.
Okay, that one and this one.
Okay. How are you creating a life well lived? I guess it's just the way I live my life now. Just be happy and contented with what I have.
You're copying my answer.
Pretty much. I adjust a bit. Exercise, well diet, sleep 7 to 8 hours, which I'm doing it now.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
I pretty much have it manageable.
Yeah.
Then 10 p.m. I'll sleep. I'll doze off 10 or 11.
Okay.
And I'll wake up at 5, 6
Oh wow.
in the
Okay.
morning. Yeah. Exercise, jogging, badminton, a bit of futsal, just to keep my body fit. Yeah. Yeah. And I think love everyone, regardless of who they are. I mean, that's the best way to live your life. If someone wanted to annoy you easily, what would they have to do?
Come early to things.
Come early, please. No. How? I don't know. I don't know why am I saying this, but I don't feel like I'd get annoyed easily. But okay. Now I know. If you change songs in my car while I'm driving, while you're in my car, you annoy me. So my car, my rules.
Okay, interesting. Noted.
Yeah, noted. Okay. Random question. Are you an odd number or an even number when it comes to volume?
Oh, volume. I don't know. I don't think I ever noticed or cared. As long as it's loud enough.
I'm an even number.
Oh.
I can't stand 13. I have to go either 14 or 12.
Is that the only number you can't stand?
No. As long
Like
as it's
any odd number.
any odd number.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why, but
Okay.
this is how I am.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So that's very random.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Okay, Felicia,
Yes.
how would you define yourself? Go straight right now. Go straight.
I know you actually. I don't know if this is spoiling the magic of your podcast, but
Yeah, go ahead.
but you did send me a list of questions just as a guidance, which I didn't have from last night, but I didn't even like think about it or prepare.
It's okay. It's right.
And I hate this question. How do I define myself? Because I never know what to answer, even if this question comes up a lot. But I think I would define myself as at this stage in my life as a very restless person.
Oh.
I always have to be doing things. I always have to be productive. I always have to have a lot of work going on. Even if I'm always tired, I'm always busy, I'm always working from appointment to appointment.
Right.
I think I tie a lot of my self-worth to how productive I am, how much I'm producing, how much I'm doing.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's what I would define myself as. Like even my weekends are filled with things I need to complete, like extra work I need to complete, or things people I need to meet, or doing podcasts on the weekend, things like that, socializing.
Podcast on weekends. Oops. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, right after all this madness, mayhem of busyness, right?
Yeah.
What do you usually do at night, lah? Like, how do you have your me time once the lights are off? Probably meditate. Probably reflect on how your day was. Listening to music.
No, I don't really do that.
You don't?
I just keep working until I'm too tired.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
and I'm not like you. I don't make sure I get enough sleep. I definitely don't get enough sleep. I stay up late a lot of the times, and it's mostly to finish work. And it's not because I'm forced to by anyone. It's because I actually want to.
Right.
Yeah.
No wonder lah, you replied me last night.
Yeah.
I remembered I texted you on the location. I was out with my friends and then just came home around 12-ish, 12:30.
That's still early for me. So.
Damn. Okay. I didn't want to bother you much. Like usually I'll say, hey, this is my location to my house. I usually say that.
Yeah.
But yesterday was just that location. I don't know, wake you up. I don't want to wake you up thinking that you might be sleeping. So
Nah, it's
just
all
one
good.
text. Okay. All right. Noted. Okay. All right. When did you discover the love for arts? Share with us on how did it all happen.
I think I've always been a creative person.
Right.
Like ever since I was a kid. I think most kids are like the kind of activities you normally give to kids are like arts and crafts and coloring and drawing and all that kind of things, right? Just like give them some color pencils and let it occupy them. Or maybe now it's an iPad thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so I've always been into arts and crafts. I always make like my dad used to travel a lot when I was young, so I would always make him welcome home cards, no matter how, like even if he was away for just one night or something and going somewhere nearby like Miri or something.
Right.
I would always make him a welcome home card. And that sort of carried through my whole life, I think, you know, when you're in school, you always get those what you want to be when you grow up
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
I did write artist, you know, not knowing like,
Same.
artists
Yeah.
don't make money.
Yeah.
That kind of situation.
Yeah.
But I guess when you're in primary school, you don't really think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So it's always been part of me, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Shoot, there was this question that pops in my head just now. Oh, right. About me, when you said that, most kids do arts and all that.
Yeah.
I don't like drawing. I'm just bad in drawing. But coloring, yes. I'll color, but it's not that perfect lah. Like, I'll just do
Yeah.
shadings and
But I mean, when
settle.
you're a kid, it's not like you just do whatever
Yeah.
and you just have fun doing it.
Yeah. Just having fun doing it.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh, that's how you discover it. All right. Years later, you secured a job as a graphics design.
Yeah.
What are some of the struggles lah that you have to face as a
graphic
graphic
designer.
designer?
Okay, so I actually didn't study to be a graphic designer.
Oh, okay.
So I studied architecture at university,
Mm.
which I did. I loved architecture, but I think anyone who went to architecture school would tell you like it's very tough, which I'm sure a lot of other courses are as well. So when I finished my degree and I moved back here, I wanted to take a break from architecture. I didn't want to think about it for a while, and I was thinking of what other jobs I could apply for, and graphic design was something I was interested in doing. So I applied for graphic design jobs.
Right.
And I have to say, the first person who actually hired me as a graphic designer, I think he was very brave to do it because I had almost zero experience in graphic design. Like, you can say you're interested in it, but you're not good at it. You're not trained in it.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to use Illustrator, and that's quite a, that's like the main program you need to know how to use when you're a designer.
Yeah.
But he hired me anyway, and he threw me in the deep end, and I had to learn how to learn. And I guess that's the best way to learn anything, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise you'll just drown.
Yeah. I remember when I first started working, I didn't know anything. I'm sure you can share, right? I'm sure we both share the same thing. You don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But they were like, all right, you do this, you do this, you do that, you do that. Okay, have fun. Bye bye. And they're like wondering, what am I doing here? Where should I go? Which part should I start first? And then you start asking your colleagues and all that and blah blah blah. Probably Google a few things. Oh, how to do this and that.
Yeah, there was a lot of Googling. There was a lot of asking the design intern. She taught me a lot because she actually studied it.
Yeah.
So she actually knew so much more than I did. So yeah, a lot of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, going back to right after SPM. What do you do right after SPM?
I went overseas straight away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So pretty much
architecture lah.
Yeah. Well, I did my foundation first before I entered uni. So
in architecture as well.
It was a general foundation.
Oh, okay.
1 year in Perth, and then I started architecture first year. The year after that.
Right. But why architecture as a degree? Why didn't you like, I want to do arts for a living?
Well, because it's that whole thing where your parents will say like, oh, arts,
Asian
be an
parents.
artist. Well, I mean, it's fair enough. It's a different kind of challenge, I think.
Right.
But even in architecture, my dad didn't quite want me to do architecture because he works with a lot of architects and he knows how much they struggle.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really interested in much else, so he was like, okay. My dad, and this is going back to the thing about happiness being a very
don't mind the MBTI.
Yeah. This goes back to why I think just being happy is important. That's what my parents say to me. Like, no matter what decision I make in life, even if they're not sure about it, they advise me, but they don't force me to do anything.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they just want me to be happy.
Right.
Which I'm very grateful for. I know a lot of other parents wouldn't be as understanding. So yeah.
Nice. So your parents were supportive of the decision.
Yeah.
And you were happy, and you are still happy.
I'm sure they worry a lot behind the scenes.
Yeah. A lot of crying and all those. Yeah.
Well, I feel like because they're parents, they would worry regardless of what you're doing.
Yeah. Parents will be parents.
Yeah.
I see. All right. Okay. So I thought you're gonna be like, I thought your case would be like those, parents want you to do this and you don't like, but you have to do it just to please your
No,
parents.
I don't know. I think my dad did suggest I do nursing, and I was like, no, I don't want to do nursing.
Okay, yeah.
And then I think my mom suggested I do like an English degree,
Right.
like become an English teacher, and I was like, no.
You don't want to be a teacher, lah.
I don't think I'd be good at it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You want to drink first? Go ahead.
Yes.
So back then, while you're doing your studies
Yeah.
in university, you do arts as well, right? As a side project, side hustle.
Yeah, like as a hobby.
Do you sell some of your stuff, or?
This was like so long ago. I have
Yeah.
to think about it. Not really, but I had friends and family who would ask me to help them design things,
Right.
like design their business cards or design their wedding
Right.
invitations,
Right.
basic things like that. And looking back on the work I did for them, I was like, I don't know how they even trusted me to do all that, but you know.
Any complaints after that, or it's just like, oh,
No, they were
nice,
very
yeah.
encouraging.
Right.
I mean, that's how I became more confident, I guess, in
Right.
pursuing this, because my friends were very trusting and very encouraging of me, and yeah.
Nice. Very encouraging.
Yeah.
Very supportive as well.
Yeah.
How do you juggle in between lah? Back then, while you're in university.
Or probably not very well. But also because doing architecture was sort of connected to it,
Right.
because it's like a creative degree. You need to know how to do. I think it sort of overlaps with graphic design. You need to know how to lay out your work to present to your lecturers and things like that. So it did kind of work hand in hand.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. The principles are pretty much similar lah.
I guess so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Oops. Okay. The ink spot. Let's talk about that. How do you all begin? Very simple.
Well,
Is it right after you arrive in Kuching? Right after you
no.
finish up
So when I was in
university?
Perth, like with all these friends who
Oh.
were asking me to do things,
Right.
at first it was very informal, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
But I had this one friend who I always mention in interviews and stuff. Her name's Lauren.
Mhm.
She was the first person to pay me to design something for her.
Right.
Even though I was like, no, please don't pay me. Like, I don't think I'm good enough to be
Yeah,
paid. But she
yeah.
was like, no, it's just like a little like $50 kind of thing.
Right.
But that was I feel like the starting point to where all this started. And I wanted to have something a name to park my work under, so I could promote it,
Yeah.
not as like my name.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it was sort of like a cowardly thing as well. I didn't want to put my name on it.
Why not?
Well, if it fails, then it's my name. So that's why I created the ink spot.
All right.
Yeah, and I think that was like 2015, 2016, something like that.
Who came up with the idea, the name?
Yeah, I can't quite remember how I came up with the name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Ink
it's from a band, I think,
Okay.
like this really olden days band.
Right.
But I don't know if it was because of that,
Right.
or did I find out after that? Oh, there's a band called the Ink Spot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
can't remember the details.
You still remember the design that you made for Lauren?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I think I have pictures and stuff. It was very simple, but yeah,
Got paid for it.
yeah,
Yeah. And that's like your catalyst,
yeah.
so to speak.
And she's still a really good friend of mine. She still supports me. I send her Christmas cards every year, and she has them up on her fridge like
Aw.
every single year.
Oh.
Because I visited her in December, and she
Right.
showed me like, these are all your Christmas cards, and I'm like, oh my gosh, people actually
Oh.
keep them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She appreciates your art.
yeah,
They do. They support you.
Yeah.
Wow. You have supportive circle.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Not everyone has it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
The circle's getting smaller, but it's quality
The-
over
Ah,
quantity.
yeah. I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
The quality that counts. It's not the
Yeah.
quantity. Yeah. Nice. What was the inspiration and the drive behind the ink spot?
The inspiration. Well, I think the inspiration sort of changed over the years. Now it's what drives me is that the ink spot is what I do, what I want to do, whatever I want to do.
Right.
Because in my work as a designer, I usually work for other people,
Mm.
and it's what they obviously, give me the direction, give me the brief of what they want.
Yeah.
For the ink spot, it's just purely what I want. I don't even think of like, oh, will this sell? Like, oh, will this be popular? It's just what I like and what I enjoy, and yeah, if it doesn't sell, then whatever. No
Yeah.
pressure on me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes from the heart. It comes from the passion.
Yeah.
So money is quite secondary because
Well,
passion drives
I guess
you.
so. I mean, like, I can say that because I've got a full-time job. So
Yeah.
if that was if the ink spot was my full-time job, then it would be different. But I think that will also change it. Like, it would put different pressures on it.
Yeah.
You know, when you do what you love for a living, it might,
Oh yeah.
if you're not careful, it will
Yeah.
change the way you look at it,
Yeah.
the way you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people do get breakdowns or burnouts when they have the passion for a living, because I've seen it a lot on these YouTubers who used to make contents for the fun of it,
Yeah.
but now they're making contents as their livelihood.
Yeah.
How burnout they are.
Yeah. And it's like what other people want, not what they want to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to be a creative, you can't be told like, can you do this, you do that.
Yeah.
Because it has to be from your own free will.
Yeah.
Your own pace and all that.
I think when I quit one of my jobs in I don't know what year it was, 2021 maybe. I did want to focus on Inkspot as a full-time thing and to build it, but I did realize quite quickly, like, oh, this could turn into something I won't actually like anymore.
Yeah.
Which I thought would be pretty sad, because I've brought the Inkspot with me from a different country,
Yeah.
from a different group of friends, from a different network, and I brought it back home, and it's kind of like my baby, so I'm very protective of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the right thing, the right way to go about it, because it is becoming quite stagnant, I think.
Right.
Like, if you don't have big goals for it and all that. But I think, well, I don't know, I guess running your own thing
Yeah.
will always come with challenges, and
Yeah.
the reasons you do it will always change. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes in the future, I think.
Yeah. Come to think of it, right? If you're doing it as a full-time thing,
Yeah.
the quality will not be as how it is right now.
Yeah.
You'll focus more on the quantity, and the products that you do. It's
Yeah.
not from the heart. It's more on the, I need to chase out the timeline. If
Yeah.
not, my clients will be getting mad at me.
Yeah.
And all that. So you have to sacrifice quality over
Yeah.
quantity. Yeah. Yeah. I want to go further, but how can I go further? But never mind. Yeah. All right. Okay, the ink spot. What are the things that you do for the ink spot? Okay.
So that has also changed a little bit over time, I think.
Right.
But currently, I'm trying to build a collection of greeting cards.
Don't mind the sound.
Does that come out on the mic?
I think it will, but never mind.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm trying to build a collection of greeting cards.
Right.
And this is something I realized that people don't really buy greeting cards here. I don't know if it's just me, but I buy a lot of greeting cards. I stock up on greeting cards to give to people. But because when I used to be in Perth and I used to attend all these art markets and everything, a lot of people sold greeting cards, and I always enjoyed looking at them. So that's where that's how I started, I guess. So I'm trying to branch out into other things like cute stationery and like notepads and notebooks and things like that, and cute stickers. Like, everyone loves cute stickers.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stalked your Instagram, and then I stalked the ink spot.
Yeah.
You did some events for birthdays and all that. What sort
Yeah.
sort of things that you do
Well,
for
because
events?
my design style is quite bright and colorful, so I think it appeals to a lot of mothers with young children who want to do like the first birthdays and all that kind of thing, birthday parties. So they approached me to do that kind of thing, which is quite fun as well. It's not something I thought I would be going down, but I think it's just a natural thing, like, bright, fun, quirky illustrations and children.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw the design that you did, the weekend style.
That one was a really well, it was for I think he was turning 2.
a
2-year-old boy.
Okay.
And apparently his favorite video is that weekend. What was it, like some music video awards
some music video,
with all the cars and all that. So his mom wanted to give him a weekend themed birthday, which was really interesting.
Yeah.
But it was nerve-wracking for me because you have to impress like a 2-year-old kid.
Right.
And
Right.
obviously they're not going to be polite
Yeah.
enough to be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that looks good, if
Yeah,
they don't think it is.
Yeah.
But I think he liked it.
Yeah. The toughest client would be the kids, right?
Yeah.
They can be very straightforward without
Yeah.
filtering the words.
And you don't want to disappoint a 2-year-old kid on his birthday. You know?
Yeah. Surely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think he liked it.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he do.
I hope
Yeah.
so.
Shoot, what was the question again? There's this question that popped in my head. Never mind. It'll come up later on. Okay, let's go next. You want to cheers first?
Oh, sure.
Wow, let's go.
Cheers.
Nice. All right. What are your goals after this for yourself and for the ink spot?
For myself, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
My personal goals, I think, are tied to my work goals,
Right.
which is not very healthy. But
Right.
my ink spot goal is to build build up stock for it. I think build up a good line of products
Right.
that people will like.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's as simple as that.
I see.
To do more markets, maybe.
Yeah.
It's hard when you have a full-time job because markets are quite tiring to do, especially if
Yeah.
they take up the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're in other cities like Cebu and Miri and all that, so it's
Yeah.
quite hard to find time to do all those things.
Right.
But it's a really good way to meet people
Right.
and for people to get to know you
Yeah.
and to ask you more about the work you do and stuff like that. It's hard when you're hiding behind a screen,
Yeah.
when you're not regularly posting because you're
Yeah.
busy with other things. Yeah.
The furthest you've been to for the ink spot?
Oh, just in Kuching.
Just in Kuching. Okay.
Have I gone anywhere else? No, I don't think so.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you actually operate this with a team, or do you do all this all by yourself?
I do it mainly by myself,
Mm-hmm.
except for the Iban book.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go there then. Let's go there then. So, what's the book about? Che.
So it's called Nama Berita. Do I have to show it to the camera?
Yeah.
I don't want to spill anything. So it's called Nama Berita. It's an Iban English children's book, and this was actually the idea of a friend of mine,
Natasha.
Natasha.
Mhm.
Natasha Binya. Shout out to Natasha.
Shout out. All right.
So she's the one who actually approached me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So she was actually doing online Zoom Iban lessons during COVID,
Right.
and I joined it because
Mhm.
I've known her for a long time. I've known her and her sisters
Right.
from school. We all went to the same school.
Mm-hmm.
And she knew that I was always interested in learning more about Iban culture. I'm Iban, by the way. I'm not very good Iban, but
Mm-hmm.
I am one.
Yeah.
You can see my birth cert. So she invited me to be part of it. I went to all her lessons. I think it was 10 lessons. And then after that, she's also a supporter of my work. She buys my products and all that. And then she asked me if I was interested in doing a children's book because it's something she always thought about doing.
Mm-hmm.
And she suddenly realized, like, if she didn't do it first, someone else would.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's how it started, basically. She wrote the book. It's in 2 languages, so it's got the Iban on one side and English on the other side. And then I did all the illustrations.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an easy read. I saw it yesterday.
Yeah.
Like a few flips and you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's meant to be very basic, like baby's first words kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
But instead of having just like happy, sad,
Yeah.
we decided to have a story around it so that it's easier for parents to read it to their children
Right.
instead of just them being like, this is what happy is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
We had a lot of help on it because that idea was given by her sister Amanda, because she has kids of her own. So she knows like it's easier for her to read a storybook to her kids if there's a storyline.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
And then all her aunties were also involved in making sure it was the correct Iban
Iban,
words,
yeah.
the correct spelling and all that. That took a while.
I see.
Even if it's such a simple book with so few pages, getting the language right so it won't offend anyone
Yeah.
or well, these things you want to make sure you do it right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long was the process of making the book into reality?
It was probably, I don't know, like a few months.
A few months.
2, 3, 4 months maybe.
Right.
Sending it to printing took ages.
Yeah.
And our first print run, because we also had to get sponsors and look for money to print our books.
Yeah.
So we only printed 100 copies at first. And well, to us, we thought 100 was a lot, because we were like, who's going to buy these books that we just do as a hobby?
Yeah.
But we sold out.
100.
Yes.
Nice.
On the day we launched it, we sold out in 8 hours, I think.
Oh, nice. Congrats.
Thank you.
Oh.
But then the next issue was finding more money to print more books. Yeah. But it's a good problem to have, I think.
Yeah.
We had really good response from it, and a lot of people were very supportive of it. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Okay, we've printed out 100. Okay, what's next? More prints to do? Yeah. Where's the money? Huh?
Yep. That was hard.
Right. How long was the process for you to draw things for the book?
Probably a few months as well. It sort of, we worked quite in parallel, I think. Like while she was sorting out all her issues with making sure the language was correct, the sentences were correct, I was sorting out all the like, what should I draw?
I see.
And it went through lots of different stages. And characters. We had characters at first, but then we didn't want to pigeonhole it to like, a girl or a boy. Yeah. So at the end of the day, we decided to go with elements, like nature elements.
Right.
Because when Natasha was doing her Iban lessons, she was telling us a lot about how Iban words come about from what people observe around them.
I see.
Or even names as well. Like,
Right.
That thing's freaking me out. Yeah, so it's like, because, when you're in a kampong, that's all you see around you. Like, you see the rivers, and you see the leaves, and you see the weather and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we did. You probably can't see it on camera and everything, but if you have a closer look at it, they're all, the rain. And if you look closely, there's the Puak Kumbu pattern in the background. And even that, she went into such detail advising me on how to do Puak Kumbu patterns. Like, you can't simply choose any patterns. Some patterns are safer than others. Like, don't put patterns of people in them, but patterns like ferns are safe.
Right.
Things like that I never thought about, you know.
Today I learned.
Yeah. Well, that day I learned as well when I was doing this book. Yeah. And we wanted to do it different because we wanted it to be bright and fun because it's for kids.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of Iban or Dayak drawings are very like brown.
Red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always the same color, which is understandable. They come from like natural colors.
Yeah.
But these are for kids, so it has to appeal to kids.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we wanted to be careful not to stray too far from our culture.
Right.
We didn't want to produce like a whitewashed
Yeah.
version of it.
Yeah. Understand.
So I hope people do realize that we're not just coming up with any chincai.
Right.
Simply draw this book. We put a lot of thought into what we wanted to represent in it.
Right.
So yeah.
Are you still selling those books? Still on sale?
Yeah, so it's on my Shopee, which is on sale this month actually. The first and only time probably you'll see Nama Berita on sale.
Ooh.
It's normally 35 ringgit and I think now it's 28 ringgit.
Go guys, go.
Yeah.
Buy it. Go and buy it.
It's also at the museum, Borneo Cultures Museum gift shop. And at this store called Pakat in Miri.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
You mentioned 2 books. So what's the other book?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
So
before, or you have another small stories about Nama Berita, do you wanna?
not really, unless I think of something randomly.
Yeah. Was this all before? Was it all during the during MCO, or was it after it was relaxed?
After it was relaxed. So we did this at the end of 2021.
All right. Okay. So everything was physically done, lah. Like you can meet your.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, it was easing up a bit.
Okay.
So I always tell people that I'm very grateful to Natasha because this Nama Berita project opened up so many doors for me.
Right.
Especially in children's books, which is also something I didn't think I would be going into. Because I don't have children of my own, or I don't have many nieces or nephews that live in Kuching.
Right.
But I was approached to do a Kalabit book after that. This one was done by Sarah Dorai.
Mm-hmm.
So she came up with the idea of doing a set of 3 Kalabit books.
I see.
So all 3 of them were illustrated by different people, and this one is my book. Yeah, and I think it is a similar kind of situation. Kalabit and then translated into English underneath it.
Right.
So yeah.
Wait, earlier on you mentioned that there are 3 books of this book, right?
Yes,
and this is
I
your.
didn't bring the other ones.
Oh, it's okay, it's okay. That is illustrated by you.
Yes, my name down here.
Are these 3 books come with book number 1, book number 2, book number 3, or you can just grab and randomly?
You can buy them in a set, or you can buy them separately.
It's not a continuous kind of book,
No.
right? Okay.
They have different topics. I think one of them was like counting, and one of them was family members. Mine is about the 5 senses. Yeah, like tasting and smelling and all that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah, so she was the second person to approach me to do a children's book. And then I've also had people interested in doing Bisaya books,
Okay.
Bidayu books, but someone else has to write all those. I can't write. Like that's not my language. I don't know what language is Bisaya. I can't speak it, so I obviously can't write it.
I see.
So yeah.
All right. So let's go back to that Nama Berita book, right? You have discussed with Natasha about those Iban stuff.
Yeah.
And you are in Iban yourself.
Mm-hmm.
How was the experience like? Like, do you get to know your culture well? Do you know about Iban while you're drawing and all those?
I had a basic understanding of what being Iban was, but we're not very my own family, we're not very traditional Ibans because my great grandmother was the one who was Iban, so that's quite far back already.
Right.
We're mixed with lots of other different races, so I think our family culture and traditions are all very mixed up. Sometimes I don't know, like, does this come from this side or that side? I don't know.
Right.
So I definitely did learn a lot. I'm quite embarrassed to say that I can understand more Iban now after Natasha's lessons.
Nice.
But I can't really speak it, or I'm just not confident in.
Yeah.
I'm very self-conscious about speaking it.
Yeah.
Which is quite tough because when we're out promoting this book, if Natasha's not there, people tend to speak Iban to me, which is quite embarrassing to be like, I can't speak Iban.
Yeah.
But I produced an Iban book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surely you can tell from their faces, right? Like, why is this girl can't speak Iban and all that?
Well, I don't have to tell them the whole story. Like, this was done by my friend, and like I am Iban too, but I'm trying my best.
Right.
I'm trying to learn.
Yeah. So, going through all your races, you're in Iban. Can you explain further? Like,
okay, yeah. So my mom's Chinese.
All right.
She's pure Chinese. That's the easiest to explain. My dad is Eurasian. He's mixed English, Iban, and Bidayu.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So your dad has all the mixture of everything, and your mom's a Chinese.
Yep.
Right. So how does it like to grow up in places, especially in schools where like you can't speak any language? Have you ever been quote unquote bullied? Like you can't speak Beb Sarawak and all that.
Not really in school, because so I went to St. Teresa's.
Right.
Most people speak English there.
Yeah. Correct.
So I got by pretty alright in school, speaking English to everyone. It was only as I grew older, I think. In school, I feel like I wasn't so aware of I don't know, racial tensions. You don't think about what race is your friend. You just chat to them.
True.
Because you all go to the same school, you do the same things, and you're all alike.
Yeah.
You don't think so much about the differences, I think.
Yeah.
But as I left, and then I got a lot of people who were making fun of me for not being able to speak Iban.
Damn.
A lot of people who weren't Iban but could speak Iban were like, "Oh, see, I can speak Iban." I'm like, "Well, good for you."
Good for you.
Good for you.
Yay. Cheers.
And I still get that a lot. Sometimes by grown-ups as well, which is quite irritating.
Colleagues?
not so much. My
Not so-
colleagues now are quite nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The grown-ups.
Yeah.
Within your family.
My family, not so much, because a lot of my cousins are like me. We all have this cultural identity crisis
Right.
within us, and we're all quite understanding of one another because we're all in the same position.
Right.
My parents as well, like, well, they brought us up speaking English, so
Yeah.
that's all we speak.
Do you feel like you're a Malaysian?
I feel like I'm a Sarawakian.
Sarawakian. Okay.
Not sure about Malaysian.
Yeah. Sarawakian. You feel more welcomed here, lah.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I don't know. If
I don't
this
know.
is
Why
like
am
a
I?
political?
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. Sorry.
But I don't know. I feel like Sarawak is very separate to the rest of. Well, we're on a different island and everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
You do feel like I'm home in Sarawak.
I do.
Right.
As left out as I feel, often I still feel like this is home. Definitely, that's why I moved home.
Right.
Yeah.
The reason why I brought this up is because now that you've mentioned it, yesterday we had a conversation about how you felt left out. Can you share with us, like, what do you mean by that left out feeling? Like,
Not fitting into any particular group.
right.
But at the same time, I don't know if that's just me. Like, my friends probably don't see it and probably are like, oh yeah, she's one of us.
Oh.
But to an extent, I also have to fake how I act a lot of the times to fit into certain groups. Like, change the way I speak to sound more like them, to feel more accepted. And again, that's probably on me and not on them. Like, it's a me feeling conscious about everything kind of thing. Whereas they probably don't care and would accept me no matter what.
Yeah.
But I also sometimes feel that if I just talk like myself, people look a bit like, oh, what's she doing?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
What is this girl trying to do? You
Yeah.
know? Who is this girl? Are you Iban or are
Yeah.
you orang putih? What are you? Explain to us.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that I have listeners out there who feel the same way. You know, like they are actually a native by name, on birth certs in IC, but they're actually in households they are raised in a certain in a different race. For example, if your dad is Pidayo,
Yeah.
but your mom is some Londoner, and then you speak English at home most of the
Okay.
time. Yeah, probably some of my friends would feel they can share the same sentiment they have. Sentiment, or probably the circumstances that you're facing right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel lost, like, what am I doing here? I feel lost during family gatherings, especially
yeah.
with the great aunties or great uncles
Yeah.
listening
Definitely.
to them, or probably distant cousins, distant relatives. You're trying to understand, but they push you aside, like, oh, she won't understand what we're talking about.
Yeah. That's like because on my mom's side, everyone speaks Chinese,
Right.
so I just spend most of my family gatherings on that side, like not understanding what everyone's saying.
Right.
Me and my dad, so I've got company.
Yeah, we don't speak Chinese here, so cheers.
Aw.
Right. Okay. Let's go back to the art scene in Kuching or Sarawak.
Yeah.
How do you see the scene here?
Mm,
Especially you're doing paper goods, right?
Yep.
Printings.
I do think it's a lot more vibrant than what it used to be a few years ago. There's a lot more things happening and a lot more people holding arts events. People like Forge, Marilyn and Rachel,
Yes.
they do a lot of like good events that draw. They've also got a very good community around them. I think that supports these kinds of things. House Kuching as well.
Yeah.
They also have like things like Seni Kita and all that, where they try and do a little bit of different things. I think the thing about Kuching is that you always see the same people, which is nice because you can build community. You recognize people wherever you go.
Oh, okay.
But at the same time, I do wish there was more
Yeah.
people, like different things happening at
Correct,
different.
correct.
Yeah.
I smile on that fact because whenever you go to events, right, it's the same face again. Like, oh, this guy again, or this girl again.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
But I don't think it's specific to the art scene. Like, for example, if you go to food things, it's always the same
Yeah,
food vendors.
yeah.
Which,
Same people.
yeah, I mean, I guess that's just a Kuching thing. Like,
I was just about to say that. Yeah, it's a Kuching thing lah.
yeah,
Things are just not as vibrant as other places. Can't compare to KL.
Yeah.
Can't compare to Perth because
Well,
Kuching is.
it's familiar and comfortable, but I guess sometimes you get new people in, you're like, oh, that's interesting, you know,
Yeah.
like something new.
Yeah.
So I think for me the challenge is coming up with different things all the time. Like, so not producing the same products for years and years and years,
Right.
because people are going to buy it and then like, oh, I saw that already, I'm not going to buy it again.
Mm,
So for me that's what I try and do to keep it interesting, I hope.
right.
Yeah.
Are there any other paper goods artists out there besides you?
Probably
Kuching?
lots.
A lot, huh?
Probably.
Got lah? Or you don't know?
I guess so. People like Marilyn and Rachel from Forge, they
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to sell paper products. They used to bring in products from people outside of Kuching, which was really good, like Sabah and KL and all these kind of places.
Mm.
Yeah,
Very supportive, your
yeah.
scene.
Well,
Right.
it's small, so I think
Yeah, it's small.
it has to be supportive. Otherwise, we don't have anyone else.
Yeah.
We just have each other.
Yeah. We have small numbers, but we're here. Something like that lah. Okay. Cool. Wow. Okay. Right. What drives you to continue on making arts until today? Did you
Um,
did they ask you this?
I don't know.
Never mind. Just
But-
go ahead. Yeah.
I don't know anything else, I guess. Like, that's just what I want to do.
Do you get burnouts? Creative block?
I don't get creative blocks. Oh, that sounds so
Ooh.
conceited. My problem is that I find that there's not enough time to do everything I want to do.
Mm. How do you find your inspiration in drawing?
Pinterest,
Ah,
Instagram.
right.
When I travel, I like to look at little artsy shops and take lots of pictures for inspiration.
Mm.
Yeah.
I see. All right.
Actually, I want to correct that creative block thing. I do get creative blocks. Of course I do. Like,
Of course
I
you
get,
do.
of course when I'm doing work for a client, for example, I get stuck sometimes.
Right.
And then I just go away and do something else, and then or ask someone else's advice, and then something always comes.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe it just takes time.
What do you usually do then when you're like, okay, I need some ideas? Do you talk to your friends? Do you go Google? I mean, for your clients lah, as a graphic design.
Well, I'll either like Google for inspiration. It's different because I used to do freelancing. So last year I was freelancing. So whenever I would be stuck, I would go and do something else.
Right.
Like go and do chores or
Yeah.
work on a different project or go out and then come back later, and then maybe it's, the ideas flow better.
Yeah.
But now that I'm working full-time in an office, I would ask other people's opinions.
Right.
Even though I don't really like to ask.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like a perfectionist thing. You don't want to show someone like a half-finished
Yeah,
work
yeah,
that you're
yeah.
not very confident with.
Yeah.
But it definitely helps getting other people's perspective.
Yeah.
Because people, like, everyone thinks differently. Everyone has different solutions to things. So that's one good thing about going back into an office, I think. Like, being with people
Right.
rather than working on your own.
Because if talking about guys, some girls will do this too. Like, oh my gosh, workload is getting heavier. I'm gonna get a break. They go outside and have cigarette break. Like, after one stick, okay, now I know what to do. Yeah, that was me back then, but now I don't smoke anymore. So yeah, I don't smoke anymore. Che. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. You have answered this already. So, I think that's it.
Okay.
That's it for the podcast. Okay.
And it's raining
And
heavier
it's
now.
raining. Oh, shoot.
Good timing.
Yeah. Okay. To wrap things up. Where can people find you?
Mainly on Instagram. So just search the ink spot on Instagram. I don't know if any other ink spots will come up, but
I think that's it.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
the other
there.
one.
Do you put tags in your podcast?
I will. I will tag you on. Don't mind the sound. It gets annoying, I know, but yeah, don't mind it. I do tag my guests on the episodes. So
Yeah, so I'm mainly on Instagram. I can't. I'm not organized enough. I don't have enough time in a day to have multiple social media
TikTok.
platforms. No.
No.
Too
Okay.
much temptation there.
Yeah,
Too much
yeah.
distraction.
Right.
Yeah, so just Instagram. So all my information is on Instagram.
Okay. You don't mind if people follow your your personal.
If they want,
Instagram,
it's not
so-
very interesting,
okay.
but
Yeah, if you want to, just
yeah.
hit the follow button.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna include both the ink spot and your Instagram account on my episode captions.
Okay.
All right. So that's it for episode. What episode is this? 28, I think. It's episode 28.
Okay, good number. I think.
Yes. Is 28. Yes. Episode 28. Felicia Bateman. Available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to share this if you love this. Don't mind the sound, don't mind the thunder, don't mind the Andy Pure, don't mind us drinking. If you enjoy this episode, click like and share it to your friends. If you love art stuff, go to the ink spot. Support her. She needs some money.
Yes. Month-long July sale happening on Shopee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nama Berita, right? Nama Berita,
Nama
the
Berita
book
is
as
also
well.
there. Nama Berita.
Yeah. And just go to a Shopee, just go to a Linktree, right? Using Linktree.
Yes.
Yeah, just go to a Linktree and all the good stuffs are there. So check it out and see you in the next video. Ciao.